Long before she became the wife of one of the world's richest men, Sheikh Mohammed, Princess Haya bint al-Hussein had real feelings for the son of the then president of Syria. He was being groomed to lead the country, and Haya could have become the first lady, but fate had other plans. Today, a new era has begun in Syria. The people are rejoicing in the long-awaited change, and the current president, Bashar al-Assad, has fled the country with his family, just as Haya fled her unhappy marriage. Why didn't Princess Haya become Syria's first lady? Could her love have changed the course of history and prevented the bloody conflict? Watch the video about the sad story of an unfulfilled destiny. Let's get started. For all its apparent luxury, the life of Jordanian Princess Haya bint al-Hussein was far from ideal. At 30, she married the ruler of Dubai, Mohammed Al Maktoum. The couple seemed to be a happy family, but things weren't that simple. We may never know the whole truth, but happy wives don't run away from their husbands, do they? Her escape to Europe from her controlling husband became one of the most talked about royal news stories in recent years. But we want to tell you about something the newspapers don't write about and the news doesn't cover. This side of the princess's life has been completely erased from all of her official biographies. She is remembered only in Jordan and neighboring Syria. This is the story of how the royal families of these two countries almost became one. It's the story of a great love between Haya and Bashar al-Assad. Both came from ancient and aristocratic families. Haya was the daughter of King Hussein, the ruler of Jordan, and Bashar was the eldest son of Hafiz Assad, the president of Syria. At first glance, their lives and destinies seemed to be heading in completely different directions, but one important thing brought them together: a shared love of horseback riding. In 1992, Princess Haya won a bronze medal at the Pan-Arab Equestrian Competition in Damascus. She was the first woman to compete for Jordan in this sport and the first woman to achieve such high results. Bashar, on the other hand, was an avid fan of equestrian competitions. He had been passionate about horseback riding since childhood, and it's likely that this shared interest was the first bridge between two very different worlds: the world of Syrian politics and the world of Jordanian royalty. Their romance began in 1992 after they met at a competition in Damascus. Princess Haya was 18 and Bashar was 30. Immediately, there was more than friendship between them. Soon their connection became true love. They supported each other, inspired each other to succeed, and even competed together. Their romance was not just a love story, it was a bond between two people who seemed destined to be an ideal couple. But as is often the case in Eastern monarchies, things were not so simple. King Hussein bin Talal, Haya's father, did not approve of her relationship with Bashar. It was a love that faced high political and cultural barriers. The Jordanian royal family belonged to the Hashemite dynasty, direct descendants of the Prophet Muhammad. The Assads, though influential, had no such lineage. The royal family felt that Haya deserved a partner of equal or greater status. But no matter how hard the king tried to convince them, nothing could stop the true love between Haya and Bashar. For several years, their romance continued despite the pressure of their families. It seemed that they could overcome all obstacles, but fate had other plans. On January 21, 1994, Bashar al-Assad was killed in a car accident. He was driving his Mercedes to the Damascus airport when, for unknown reasons, the car veered off the road. Bashar died instantly. He was only 31 years old. Rumors circulated that his death might have been the result of a conspiracy among Syrian elites who disapproved of his bold reforms and anti-corruption efforts. The official version, however, blamed poor visibility and heavy fog on the road for the tragedy. For Haya, Bashar's death was a real blow. She lost not only her beloved but also her destiny. After this tragic event, Haya remained alone for many years, even though she had everything: titles, wealth, respect. But the one who could have been her true life companion was gone. 10 years after Bashar's death, Haya married Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum. This marriage was politically motivated and meant to strengthen Jordan's position in the Arab world. She had 2 children, but despite the outward glamour and luxury, her life was not happy, for her heart remained forever with Bashar. For Syria, Bashar's death was more than a tragedy. It was the destruction of the country's political future and the hopes of its people. President Assad's family had 4 sons, but it was the eldest son, Bashar, who was groomed to lead the country. From an early age, his father recognized his leadership qualities. He chose Bashar as his successor and prepared him to lead the country. Bashar was seen as the symbol of Syria's future. He fought relentlessly against corruption in the country and dismantled a network of car smuggling across Syria's borders. An entire system that brought billions of dollars to Syrian officials was destroyed. Bashar was seen as a reformer who could modernize Syria. His education in London, combined with his ambition and military training, painted him as a leader who would bring economic renewal and political reform. But when Bashar died in a car accident in 1994, those hopes were dashed. He was succeeded by his younger brother, Bashar al-Assad. Before becoming president, Bashar lived in London, where he studied ophthalmology and planned to become a doctor. Bashar was not prepared for a political career, and unlike his older brother Bashar, he had no military or political experience. He had been far from Syria, but after his brother's tragic death, he was forced to return home. Many hoped that Bashar would change Syria for the better, but Bashar, who came to power by accident, did not live up to the people's expectations. Instead of modernizing the country, he tightened control and continued his father's authoritarian policies. Bashar's indecisive younger brother was never able to implement the necessary reforms, and his refusal to engage in dialogue with the opposition only exacerbated the crisis. In the end, the Assad regime of more than 50 years collapsed, and Bashar al-Assad was forced to flee the country. But what would have happened to Syria if Bashar had become president and his wife had been Princess Haya bint al-Hussein? The answer to this question is not easy, but undoubtedly it could have drastically changed not only Syria's history, but the history of the entire Middle East. Bashar, as a more progressive and educated leader, could have implemented economic reforms, reduced government control, and encouraged the development of the private sector. Haya, with her international connections and experience, could have played a key role in improving Syria's foreign economic relations and the social position of women in Syria. The two of them were made for each other, and their personalities matched very well. If the tragic events hadn't happened, Haya would certainly have been Bashar's only wife. Although she would not have lived in glamorous Dubai, but in much simpler and poorer Syria. After all, happiness is about being close to the person you love, not having a husband with $20 billion, right? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you soon.